Welcome everyone, welcome to Go with WP. And in this podcast today we have Lax Mariappan and he's our guest for WordCamp Kathmandu. Welcome to this podcast. So I'd like to begin with a small introduction for yourselves.
Yeah, hi everyone, and thanks for listening to the podcast. Don't miss an episode. Stay updated, that's something I realized. Whenever you are a designer, developer, or a student, you are a beginner, like this type of podcast and newsletter gives you the insights, and that brings you open up to new opportunities, so don't miss it. And about me, I am a backend engineer. I work as a backend engineer at Web Dev Studios. I started my career in 2010 and almost for 12 years now. I focus mostly on WordPress. I also work with other open source technologies. So with WordPress, it's like you can customize anything. Like the popular WordPress phrase, it's democratizing the web. So it's like it gives power to everyone. So that's why I kind of stick to WordPress.
So thank you. I see you said you started the journey of WordPress from 2010, right?
Yeah.
So it's like about 12 years.
Yeah.
So how has been this journey of WordPress within these years? Because it has changed a lot in this 12 years. So how did you find? What's your journey like?
Yeah, I really enjoy the journey, especially in terms of WordCamps, or in terms of their community, and also in code programming, the contribution, and also the user base. When I started, WordPress was one of the option, but right now it's like WordPress is the main, or like if you cannot do with WordPress, then people are looking for other options. But in 2010 it was like, okay, maybe you can check whether WordPress can do this, or we can do this with WordPress. But right now it's like you can do almost anything with WordPress, and the power of WordPress gives you like the APIs are grown a lot. I remember in 2010 when you want to create a custom taxonomy or something, is not there. Things like that. So now everything, you can create almost anything you want. Add new post type, add new terms, taxonomies, add new fields and everything. So you can create any type of website. You can also add any type of user roles and capabilities. So this 12 years, in my observation, it's like WordPress grown a lot. And I also like the way it is heading to. It's like initially I remember WordPress sites were used to say just another WordPress blog, and after WordPress 3.7, if I'm not mistaken, or after a few years, then it's now changed it to just another WordPress site. So from blog to site, it's like initial days WordPress were used for only just a blogging platform. Now we go as a CMS, and we also consider it as now decoupled CMS, headless CMS, something like you can use WordPress as a backend, and for the front end you can use whatever choice, like React, Angular, or whatever framework that you like.
Okay, so that journey is amazing. I think you grew with WordPress, right?
Yeah, I'm growing old also with WordPress. So it's nice.
So let's come to WordPress Kathmandu.
Yeah.
So I also would like to, I think our viewers would be very interesting to know your journey to WordPress Kathmandu as well. So what's your journey to WordPress Kathmandu?
So I'm one of the organizers for WordCamp Asia, and then we have a active channel where we discuss all things WordPress. And then I was like, we have a call for speakers and WordCamp Kathmandu, and Nepal is a country I wanted to visit for a long time, and I don't know that there is no visa for Indians. I mean, it's visa free. If I know that, I would have visited Nepal first. And I also never know about momos, like so bad of me. So I was like, oh, I didn't know this for a long time. And the best part is, from my house, if I walk like 200 meters, there is a store, there is a stall that sells momos. It's like, oh, there is a Nepal connection, but I missed it. So everything fell in place. I just saw a notification about calls for speakers, and I was like, okay, let's try. And there's no visa problem. So I had a feeling, even if I'm not selected as a speaker, I can see. I know some of the organizers of this WordCamp Kathmandu, and also I see Access Press themes, or other, like there are a lot of catch themes and a lot of Nepal-based companies. I like their output. I used Access Press Mag or something for my own blog as well a few years ago. So there is always a connection with Nepal and stuff. So I wanted to visit, and this time I was like, why not? Let's go. And that's how it happened.
So this is your first time here in Nepal, right?
Yeah, this is my first time in Nepal, and I feel like home.
Oh.
And I'm so happy about it.
So you just landed a few hours ago. There are a lot of things to explore. So any plans after the WordCamp is over?
Yeah, I mean, I thought of staying here for long, but it's like, since I'm from south part of India, I had to travel another 1 or 2 days. And recently I got assigned to a new project. So it's like, I want to come when there is snow. So I will be coming back in December, January, those days.
Definitely, Nepal won't let you down.
Yeah, sure.
So I just wanted to understand your view on what WordPress community is like, because I think the community is what brought you here, right? So what's the WordPress community for you?
I always talk more. You might notice, if you are listening to this one already, you might notice here this guy has a paragraph. I don't have sentences. I always write more or talk more. So the story behind community is like, since a child I don't like the word community. You know, in India we don't have last names because there is community based discrimination on that. So since growing up as a child, I don't like the word community. And it changed when I attended a WordCamp. It sounds so dramatic, but it was like that. And my talk was over, and it was the last talk. I was just roaming around. I don't want to sit and listen. And the talk is like communities and WordPress, something like that. I was like, I don't want. And then the speaker was my friend, and she was talking, and she was giving what is a community and things like that. I was like, and I was literally want to go out. And since I am a speaker, I have to receive some gift as when speakers receive a gift after the last talk. So they were forcing me to sit. I was like, oh, there is okay, let's just sit. And I was just tweeting something, and then I just listened to my friend JC, and she's the speaker, she mentioned the meaning of a community. So she said community is something that gives you a feeling where you belong. Like you are felt welcomed, you are inclusive, you are not standing alone. You can rely on them, you can ask some help, you can also share your ideas, and you can help others as well. And she showed some of her community work, like they helped, or they teach programming to people who are like, I don't know the right word to say, but it's like there are a lot of women in prison who had some criminal record or some misfortune, we can say. So they teach programming to them, and they can do some online jobs. So that was like, oh, that's kind of nice. And then she was keep on talking about communities and stuff. And then after a few weeks or months, and then I becoming more and more active with the communities, because I used to attend WordCamps, and after that there will be I go silent, or I don't care much about like what's happening in the community, or what should I do, or what I can contribute, or what I'm going to get from it. I was like, okay, I'm happy listening to the talks, or I'm happy, I want to know the latest buzz in WordPress. But after that, this incident, that stuff changed. Like, so I felt like wherever I go, and I see a lot of WordPress enthusiasts, and people are so supportive of each other, and there is literally no discrimination. Wherever I go, I felt inclusive. People doesn't care about like your religion, caste, or your country, language, or anything. So that's nice. And also nobody is forcing you to like, you have to start WordPress, or you have to do this one, something like that. They just say, or just there's another way of what do you call it, just people are discussing, sharing their ideas, or helping each other, and something like which I liked it. So that's the long story, not short.
But definitely that's beautiful. I think that's the meaning of community that every people around the world need to understand, because we live in kind of polarity these days, easily getting influenced by other people's thought. I think this is the exact definition that we actually want. Keeping that aside, let's talk about WordCamp Asia. So I want to hear more from you about WordCamp Asia.
So WordCamp Asia is something that was supposed to happen 3 years ago, and it got postponed. So the WordCamp Asia is in February 2013. All are welcome. So if you are listening to me and to this one, to this long, so it means you are definitely interested in WordPress, so don't miss it. So I recommend you to attend. So there will be a lot of WordPress based companies like agencies, freelancers, and you can meet superheroes like, you know, the Contact Form 7 guy. I kind of like a fanboy moment when I met him. So he's from Japan. He's so down to earth. He's so, when you talk to him, it doesn't feel like he's actually like a WordPress celebrity, but he feels like a, you know, newbie. He talks and he shares his insights. So things like that. So you can meet a lot of people, WordPress community members, and also you can get a lot of nice swags too. And definitely you will get whatever your interest is. You might be a marketer, you might be into writing, or you might be into let's say using WordPress as a no-code platform. Whatever your interest, there will be something that you can get from it. And then the other stuff is like you can grow your network. So do not just attend the any event. And when it comes to WordPress, just go and attend and make a connection. Just talk to people or listen to them, and maybe whatever you say, it might be helpful to them. Like what is that's a popular quote, and I think I can just go with it. I forgot his name. I think it's by Derek Sivers of AppSumo, or I think I make taking it wrong. You have to Google about this. That's a homework for you guys. Okay, so the quote is, what is obvious to you may be amazing to someone. So you might be thinking, I know just WordPress, I can just install Elementor, I know only Divi, so I'm not an expert. You might be thinking that way, but you know, there is someone who is struggling to do that stuff for maybe 2-3 days. I spent that. I had a lot of experience like that. So if you know something, you can just share. You can apply as a speaker, or you can attend the contributor day, or you can just attend WordPress meetups, or even you can just write it in your own blog or tweet about it, whatever it is. So this way you are helping and giving back to the community. So all this stuff will be in an overdose when it comes to WordCamp Asia. You know, you can see when it comes to WordPress and user groups, Asian companies or Asian users, or because Asia is a big continent, right? So that's technically we have more people, more users as well. A lot of companies, I would say WP Developer, WP, like a lot of Bangladesh based companies, a lot of Nepalese companies, I think the popular one, Access Press Teams, and I forgot the other companies from India and Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan. So a lot of companies around the Asia will be there, and that's a good chance. And you will be surprised to see the contributors, like a lot of contributors who are doing it silently. They don't promote themselves, or they don't share about their work. But when you go and see them, they'll be like, hey, I worked on this one, or they might be the contributor lead, or they might done some awesome work. So you can meet and get inspired by them. Whenever a WordCamp happens, it usually happens in a city, like, you know, Kathmandu is maybe specific to Kathmandu people, or some people can get a flight and come here. They are fanatics, not just enthusiasts. So that's for them. But when it comes to WordCamp Nepal, it's like WordPress users from all over Nepal will flock together on that day. But when you say WordCamp Asia, so it's like you can say super fans, where there will be people from all over Asia will be there, and also there will be a lot of people to meet, a lot of things to learn and try. So I hope WordCamp Asia will be this time. There's you know, we all have vaccines, we all have some you know, high hopes for it. I hope it will go well.
I think it sounds really exciting, and I think it gets it gets into the height that's expected. And my question would be, like, when you were talking about this, I just couldn't I just remembered that there are a lot of WordCamps happening around the world. WordCamp Europe, to be precise, of the larger scale. So what makes WordCamp Asia different from them? Like, because this the core thing, the basic thing is definitely same, but then the context that you're looking at, it's focused on Europe, which is a different scenario, a different environment. But when you come to Asia, the community is different, right? Like even though the basic things are same. So what makes WordCamp Asia different from the other large-scale WordCamps that's happening around the world?
Yeah, something it's like, you all will remember your first crush. This is something like that. So because it's a first ever WordCamp Asia, and it's supposed to be happened, and we should be saying like that this is the second WordCamp Asia, but it's like, so that makes it so unique. If I'm not mistaken, so far any big WordPress event like this got postponed or cancelled. So thanks to COVID, so that's one. But also thanks to COVID, we found the vaccine so quick, and we are now together. The community spirit is more. So this time it will be good. And I hope in terms of what makes this one new is like, from an insider's perspective, I'm one of the contributor day organizer. So we are trying to include more teams. Some exclusive scoop will be like we want to add performance, photos, and other stuff as well. I'm not sure if we go with performance as a table stuff, but it's like when there is a contributor day, we will have multiple tables where people come and sit and contribute on a specific topic. So let's say if it's a design table, when designers will come and work with the WordPress design related stuff. So if you are just a photographer, this is how people make complex things easier. It's not just a photographer. Photography is a very difficult stuff. I specifically say this always because it's like photography is an expensive hobby too. So photography requires a creative eye. Not everyone, the popular meme, right? Not every monkey with a camera cannot be a photographer. That actually applied to me because I had a Canon. I forgot the name of it. So I took photos, and then somebody pointed out I didn't follow even the rule of thirds. It's like so the point is photography is looks simple, but it's complex. So if you are a photographer and you think like, oh, what's the connection between WordPress and photo? I'm a photographer, I'm interested, I have the creative eye, but I don't know how to contribute. So you can start from there. So you can take some photos, and you can join the venue. Like let's say you are attending, it's in Bangkok, Thailand, right? You came to Thailand, or and then roam around, take some nice pictures, and then you can upload it to OpenVerse or like WordPress photos directory. So if somebody wants to write a blog and they can find and use your photos, you get attributions like so that's how you can share your skills. So this is one of the way to contribute. So in WordCamp Asia, we want to have more contributions happen, and also we wanted to be focusing more on Asian stuff. When it comes to Asians, it's like we people are, I would go with the word masala. If you are from Nepal, you might know already the word masala, right? Yes, it's a mix. Yes, so we don't want to go with a single stuff. When we watch a movie, we want a mix. When we have food, we want to have with different emotions. So the same applies with our way or our approach how we do stuff. It's like, for example, if someone from a different Westerner, like American, European, other people from other parts of the world, when they do something, they like to appreciate themselves, promote themselves. But when it comes to Asians, it's like they have a mix of emotions. Whether I should publish I should write about myself. No, I should not do it. I should talk about my work. I should have a portfolio page. No, I should not do. So it's like their inner demons kill their goodness. So I would say when you are when it comes to this contribution day, we want to highlight the Asian contributors, whether they are individual or agency, because we feel they are not getting the enough appreciation they have. They deserve that. So we are planning to give high priority to Asian companies and Asian individuals who contribute, or whether it can be contributing to the WordPress, or it's just an individual contribution, or they might be doing something good, like maybe they are good at the community, all that stuff. Whatever it is, so we want to highlight them. And also in terms of contributor day, we want to add more tables, which is not part of WordCamp Europe or WordCamp Asia, WordCamp US. And on the other side, there are certain every team is working so it doesn't feel like organizing an event there. It feels like there's a lot of work and there's a lot of passion. So I have a feeling it's like when the event is done, a lot of people are going to say, oh, I missed that one. I should not have missed. So it's like, I don't want you to feel that way. So it's like, so attend it.
I think you portrayed it very beautifully.
Yeah.
And I think we come to the last question, and the question would be, what message you want to deliver to the youth, to the newbies that are looking this podcast and that are thinking of getting into WordPress. So what's your message to them?
You mean as a designer, developer, or what you say?
Every type of WordPress enthusiast, like who are starting there.
Yeah, so I would say WordPress has the less learning curve, and it doesn't have a barrier. It actually allows you to empower beginners, and there are a lot of hosting companies like I don't want to name them, but it's like a lot of hosting companies. A lot of companies rely on WordPress because WordPress powers more than 40% of the internet, right? A lot of users are there, and a lot of WordPress based hosting companies are there. They host only WordPress sites. So they want more customers, right? So what they do is like they publish a lot of beginner friendly content. So if you are a beginner, you can just whatever, if you don't like Google, you can use DuckDuckGo, whatever it is. When you search, you will find a lot of beginner friendly content, and you can get started there. And if you're, for example, I'm a writer, I want to focus only on writing, so you can go to wordpress.com, get a free blog, or you can install on your own, and you can watch some YouTube tutorial. You can go with something free, or there are a lot of one-click installs available. You get a free hosting, plan, and that tool is free. You can just install WordPress within 5 minutes, and then you can get you have your website already. So it's like you don't have to worry about like, hey, I'm a beginner, I don't know anything about WordPress or anything about website. I don't know what to do. I'm just a student. Should I do this one? Whatever we do, we always compare, right? Whether it is food, dress, movies, we always want to go with reviews, comparison. So as a beginner, let's compare WordPress with Drupal. When you want to install Drupal and get started with it, it's kind of difficult. Even the Drupal core members are accepting that Drupal has high learning curve, the steep learning curve. It's hard to learn Drupal. And let's say Laravel is popular, you will get a high, you will get definitely a high-paying job with Laravel. But if you want to start as a Laravel developer, maybe it might be hard for you. WordPress makes a lot of things easier. So if you want to be a developer, you can still start with WordPress. I would say you don't have to stick with WordPress. I have a feeling you might, because it's easy. So it also in the market, it pays well. I don't want to say my salary, but it's like I would go with the growth of WordPress, or the not only me, like a lot of other companies, other jobs based on WordPress is so good. Like for example, if you are a SEO person, if you know already about WordPress, it can be a starting point. So the short answer would be WordPress can be your starting point. It can be your launch pad. You can start from there, and there's like don't be a full stop, make it like ellipsis and just go on. When you say ellipsis, Medium comes to my mind. Medium's logo is now ellipsis, right? So Medium wanted to compete with WordPress, but now it's like still WordPress is the winner, because that's the power of open source. It's open, a lot of people are contributing to it, and also it's free. And it's the one statement, though I have a lot of contradictions, or I don't agree everything with WordPress and stuff. I have love and hate relationship with it. I want WordPress to be improved a lot ways, but I agree and admire, and I go with the democratizing the web. Like it gives the power, it gives you a chance. Like you don't have to be you can be a student, you can be anyone. You can be nobody, but you can have a website, you can have a blog, you can have whatever you want. You can, with WooCommerce, you can create your online store, or you can create your say for example, if you are a teacher, professor who are listening to this, so you can start something like you can install WordPress and add a learning module, and you can create your LMS learning module system. So you can create the opportunities and possibilities are endless. So I would like to conclude with, code is poetry. That's the tagline of WordPress. So
yes,
it's poetry.
So I think we've come to the end of our podcast. So you heard it from the experienced person. WordPress can be the platform to start your journey. So don't wait anymore and begin your journey with WordPress. Thank you.